The classroom clock ticked louder than usual that day. The air was thick with the sound of whispers and the faint scent of perfume from the group of girls sitting near the back, the ones everyone either feared or followed. Among them was their self-crowned queen, Tessa Grant, her curling iron always tucked in her designer tote like a weapon disguised as beauty. And sitting 2 rows ahead of them, with her hair tied in a loose, nervous ponytail and a worn-out hoodie pulled over her shoulders, was Lena Carter, the quiet one. The girl nobody really noticed unless there was something to laugh at. Lena had always been invisible, and she preferred it that way. She didn't have friends to sit with at lunch, didn't post selfies online, didn't chase attention. But invisibility comes with a cost, because when cruel eyes get bored, they look for easy targets. And Lena, with her downcast eyes and trembling voice, was the perfect canvas for their cruelty. It started small, a trip in the hallway here, a cruel laugh there. A spilled drink that was an accident. Notes passed behind her back, with words like mute and weirdo. But it escalated like all things do when no one stands up. And on one cruel afternoon after class, it went too far. The bell had already rung. Most students had left. Lena stayed behind to pick up her books, scattered on the floor after another accidental shove from Tessa's gang. The room was empty, or so she thought. But then came the sound of heels clicking against the floor. Still cleaning up, Cinderella? Tessa's voice was sugar-coated poison. Lena froze. Behind Tessa stood her 2 shadows, Maya and Claire, the kind of girls who laughed before they even knew what was funny. Tessa leaned against the teacher's desk, curling iron cord dangling from her hand. You know, Tessa said, plugging it into the wall outlet, you'd look better if you actually tried. Maybe we can fix you. Lena's voice broke. Please, I just want to go home. Tessa smirked. Oh, don't worry. This'll only take a second. The iron hissed to life. The metal glowed faintly. Lena stepped back, eyes wide, but Maya blocked the door. The smell of burning metal filled the air, and in one swift, heart-stopping second, the iron brushed against Lena's wrist. A sharp hiss and a cry that echoed through the empty hallway. The pain was searing, white-hot, unbearable. Tessa froze for a split second, fear flashing across her face, then masked it with a smirk. Oops, she whispered. Guess you're hot now. The girls laughed. Then they were gone, leaving Lena trembling, tears streaking down her cheeks, clutching her burnt skin, and feeling smaller than ever before. That night, she didn't tell anyone. Not her mother, not her teachers. Because who would believe her? The school adored Tessa, the perfect student, the one with the rich parents, the golden smile, but something inside Lena changed that day. Something silent but unstoppable, like a fire that doesn't burn out, it burns inward. She stopped crying after that. She started watching. Listening. Learning. She began to study not just her schoolwork, but people, the way they talked, the way they lied, the way power moved from one person to another. She realized something powerful. The ones who mock you are terrified you'll find out how weak they really are. Over time, Lena turned her pain into purpose. She began reading everything she could about psychology, business, leadership, things no one her age even cared about. Late nights, while the bullies were out partying, she was teaching herself how the world worked. She got sharper. Stronger. Silent but aware. When graduation came, Tessa was crowned most popular. Lena didn't even attend the ceremony. But what no one noticed was that Lena's scholarship acceptance letter, the one that would take her far away, into a world that didn't know her past, was already sealed in her backpack. She left that town with scars, yes, but also with an idea, a vision. One that would someday change everything. 5 years later. A marble lobby. Polished floors. The faint echo of high heels again, but this time, they belonged to Lena. She walked through the glass doors of a massive corporate building, where the logo, TG Holdings, shined above the reception desk. The same initials as Tessa Grant. The company Tessa's father had built, and the company now struggling on the verge of collapse. Lena Carter was back, not as a victim, but as a silent investor. The mysterious buyer who had just acquired controlling shares of the company under a new holding name. Her name wasn't in the papers. No one knew who LC Group belonged to. Not yet. She entered the boardroom quietly, her expression unreadable. Tessa sat at the head of the table, older but still carrying that same confident smirk, until she saw Lena. For a moment, confusion flashed across her eyes. Then disbelief. Then, fear. Lena smiled faintly. Hello, Tessa. Long time no see. The room fell silent, and in that moment, Tessa realized the empire she inherited no longer belonged to her. Lena leaned forward slightly, her tone calm and cold as glass. I came to finish what you started. For a moment, the boardroom was frozen in disbelief. The air seemed to thicken as every executive in the room turned their eyes from Tessa Grant, the once untouchable heiress, to the quiet woman standing at the door. Lena Carter. The girl who once cowered in silence. The girl they had long forgotten. But the silence now didn't belong to fear, it belonged to power. Lena didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. Every step she took toward the long mahogany table sounded like thunder against the polished marble floor. She placed a folder down, calmly opened it, and began speaking, her tone controlled, professional, almost emotionless. Effective immediately, she said, LC Group has acquired 51% of TG Holdings. I'm here to oversee the transition. Tessa blinked, struggling to find her words. Why you? That's impossible. You can't just. Lena met her eyes, and for the first time, Tessa's confident smirk faltered. There was no mockery left in her. No laughter. Only disbelief. I told you once, Lena said softly, I just wanted to go home. You made sure I never felt safe there. So I built a new home, one higher than your walls, stronger than your words. And now, she paused, her expression cold but calm, you work for me. A stunned silence filled the room. Executives whispered among themselves, reading the documents that proved every word. The signatures were real. The acquisitions were legal. The deal was done. Lena Carter was, officially, the majority owner. Tessa tried to steady her voice. This isn't over. My father, your father, Lena interrupted gently, sold his shares 6 months ago. He didn't tell you. I bought them through a proxy. Tessa's breath caught. Lena continued, sliding another file across the table. He wanted someone to save his company from bankruptcy. I just happened to be willing. Tessa's eyes filled with panic. The room spun. The weight of what she'd lost began to crush her, not because of money, but because of pride. The empire she once flaunted had quietly changed hands, bought by the girl she had burned and mocked, but Lena wasn't finished. She walked to the window overlooking the same city that once felt too big, too cold for her dreams. Now it bowed beneath her success. She turned slowly, her voice steady. You see, Tessa, people think revenge means destroying someone. But I learned something different. True revenge isn't loud. It's silent. It's when you rise so high, they can't reach you anymore, and when they look up, all they see is their reflection in your success. The executives leaned forward, captivated. No one dared interrupt. It wasn't a corporate meeting anymore, it was a reckoning. Lena looked at Tessa again, her expression unreadable. I'm not here to ruin you, she said. I'm here to teach you what power really means. Power isn't cruelty. It's control. It's resilience. It's getting up every single time someone pushes you down and walking right past them as if you never heard their laughter. Tessa's voice cracked. Why didn't you tell anyone back then? About what I did? Lena's eyes softened slightly. Because if I did, you'd have learned nothing. Pain taught me more than your apology ever could. Tears welled in Tessa's eyes. The proud queen of high school was gone, replaced by someone who, for the first time, understood the cost of her cruelty. Lena gathered her documents and stood to leave. The board will report to me from now on. You'll stay on as a public relations head for a while. You'll rebuild what you broke. That's your second chance. Don't waste it. She started toward the door, her heels echoing once more. Before leaving, she turned back and said one final line, not just to Tessa, but to everyone who had ever underestimated her. Never mistake silence for weakness. The quiet ones often have the loudest victories. And with that, Lena left. The boardroom door closed softly behind her, and for the first time in years, Tessa sat in silence. Not the kind she used to mock. The kind that comes when your past finally catches up to you. Weeks turned into months, and Lena's leadership transformed TG Holdings. She introduced new policies, hired from underprivileged schools, and built scholarships for young women who had suffered bullying or trauma. Her empire became a symbol of redemption, proof that pain could become power, and scars could become strength. When a reporter finally discovered her past, they asked, "Miss Carter, what do you say to those who hurt you back then?" Lena smiled faintly, looking straight into the camera. "I say thank you. You showed me who I never want to become." That clip went viral overnight. Millions of people around the world watched it, not for the scandal, but for the message. The once shy, broken girl was now a global symbol of resilience. She didn't shout. She didn't seek revenge through destruction. She rebuilt, redefined, and reclaimed everything that was taken from her. Her empire stood, not on fear, but on silence. A silence so powerful, it echoed louder than any scream ever could, and in that silence, she finally found peace.